Okay.
Is
Is it
it recording?
recording?
I don't know. You tell us. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Okay, we're good.
So
I'll
gonna
give you guys
start.
a countdown, yeah? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good afternoon. We're Urus Consulting and are very excited to share our solution with you today. Let's first do a quick introduction to our team. We're four electrical engineering students with a passion to think differently and embrace complexity. Here's our agenda for today. Starting off with a summary, problem statement, and then moving towards a solution, then finally the Q&A. We have identified your concerns and current position in the market to then recommend an integrated expansion into the chemicals industry, all while optimizing the entire supply chain with AI. This will position your company as a market leader.
Let's look at the problem we're tackling today. Now let's look at how our clients can remain competitive as well as expand into the chemical industry to provide value. Here's our implementation to the solution. Carbon dioxide accounts for 81% of the greenhouse gas emission. This makes carbon capture a really big industry with high growth potential in the near future. Our mission to come up with a solution that aligns with the client value. We found that the biggest concern our client is working to reduce greenhouse gas and improve energy efficiency. We also looked at how our client is capturing CO2 and injecting it underground to permanent storage to mitigate effects of carbon fuel. So our solution revolves around capturing that CO2 and filtering it out using algae to release O2 into the atmosphere. And later, the algae can be used to make nutraceutical products, and this can all be done by acquiring Pontech and leveraging their expertise in the field to add value.
Thanks for that brief overview section. Now, one of the leading and most innovative ways to deal with carbon problem is that the world is facing is through carbon capturing technologies. So how does this process work? Well, the idea is to capture CO2 emitted from power plants and deal with it in an environmentally friendly way and create a profitable business model. The precise solution to this will be to pass the captured CO2 through algae, thus converting it into oxygen, which can be released into the air. This also creates a product which is called algae, which is then harvested to produce nutraceuticals, which provides medical and health benefits. Diving into Pontech, they are an innovative company operating within the clean tech industry. Their goal is to derive value from emissions, with a high emphasis on being compatible with existing power plants, allowing for backwards compatibility. Pontech has created a bioreactor that can fit within existing natural gas power plants. This bioreactor passes the captured carbon through algae to produce oxygen. So taking a look at the high-level process for how the bioreactor takes carbon all the way to nutraceuticals is as follows. Firstly, carbon is captured from the power plant. Then this carbon is passed through algae. This will release oxygen to the environment as well as create an eco-friendly product called nutraceuticals. This has four main benefits. Firstly, the process is eco-friendly. It's also backwards compatible, creates a diverse range of products, and uses innovative technology. Taking a look at the SWOT analysis, we see the strengths include being a global leader within the clean tech industry, specifically using algae to clean CO2, and they have a diverse and well-experienced executive team. Weaknesses are the inherent costs associated with carbon cleaning processes, as well as not having a reputation within the industry. Opportunities are almost endless for this company as they are working in an industry that has environmental benefits, which is going to help improve our clients' weakness. As well, low carbon sources will be responsible for 75% of the global electricity within the next 10 years. The main threat is other biofuels or carbon capturing technologies by competitors, which could prove to be more viable options in the future.
I'm very excited to share how we plan on achieving alpha with AI. Now, alpha for us is when our client can focus on what they're already good at to be even better by empowering those decision makers. Moreover, is the scalability of what makes our client already competitive. For example, in our integrated natural gas and nutraceutical supply chain, you will need to ingest thousands of tables from a single ERP system alone. Add in data from other systems like operations, customer demand, finance, and you quickly realize that it's extremely difficult to discover anything from the data, even with all of it in one place. What we need is a digital twin of our organization and a software solution for better decision making. Our unique solution to this challenge is Palantir Foundry Platform. To create the 360-degree view of our client's natural gas and bioreactor plant, we join massive amounts of data, like sensor data from plant operations or logistics data from distribution centers to create this digital twin. As a plant operations manager, I can see all the data that has been integrated to develop our digital twin of the plant. And for any single plant, I can quickly see the most relevant KPIs to understand customers and distribution centers by the city, as well as any demand alerts. For example, imagine your supply chain analyst discovers excess inventory of your nutraceutical product that will expire in a few months. They can flag this as an opportunity, notify a customer account manager, and from there, identify potential sales opportunities for this product. We have already seen British Petroleum increase their oil production by 10% using this exact platform. On the left, we see the quantitative benefits of integrating AI. We took a very conservative approach with only a 2% growth rate in the distribution of natural gas. Assuming that growth rate, we will see a result in a shocking savings of $154 million with an annual investment of only $500,000 in AI. To the right, we have our qualitative benefits. As a complete software solution, this implementation of AI will acknowledge the limitations of technology by our client. This will allow our client to maintain their presence as a leader within the natural gas industry. Fundamentally, though, this is all about how we can connect software optimization with actual operations on the field. This can enable our client to rapidly adapt to changing environments and move forward in every decision they make, making our client's business only more efficient as we grow.
So for our financial analysis, we first start looking at the PwnTech's competitors. Now, there isn't any direct competition in the Canadian markets, but when we look at the carbon capture market, then these three listed companies will be Pwn's top competitors. For Pwn's financials, we take the company's last three financial statements and start by comparing revenue with cost. Right off the bat, we can see that PwnTech has grown revenue and a decrease in its operational costs over the displayed 3 years. Not only that, but we can also use the company's revenue earned across all of its sectors from 2020 and multiply it by the average growth that each sector is expected to grow by to get a 10-year growth chart. For example, Pwn's technology revenue has a value of approximately $1.4 million in the year of 2020. We then take the $1.4 million and then multiply it by the average expected growth rate of the Canadian tech sector over the course of 10 years to see a potential growth of about 6% every 2 years. Afterwards, we move into gaining a high-level understanding of how we would go by the acquisition process for acquiring Pwn Technologies. Initially, we want to put together a team that consists of an executive who reports to the CEO, an investment banker who handles all the finances, an acquisition lawyer for transferring of the ownership, an HR expert organizing the staff information, and a team of IT specialists to merge the technical infrastructure with the new company. We would then research on why we would want to acquire Pwn Technology, which has been covered in our previous slides. Once we have answered our why, we then go into looking at the company's available public information, such as its websites, blog pages, financial statements, etc., to find any issues that may devalue the company. We would then organize a meeting with the Pwn Technologies management to get a better sense of the company's work culture, the success rate of its products, and a tour of the facility to gain a better understanding of their operations. Once we're satisfied with our inquiries, we would then put together a non-disclosure agreement, a letter of intent, a purchase agreement to express our interest in wanting to acquire Pwn Technologies.
You're muted. You're muted.
We also looked at how our clients can get into the cannabis and the food industry. After doing some research about the fields and the client using their SWOT analysis, we saw how highly the client values public perception, which would be negatively impacted by going into a controversial industry such as cannabis. We also saw how lack of innovation and technological resources is a client's weakness, making it very difficult to get into the food and beverage industry, which is so densely populated by the big players. So we decided to play off the strengths of our clients and acquire PwnTech that not only produces chemical products, but also aligns with the core value of the organization to reduce greenhouse effect and improve energy efficiency. Finally, we used a decision matrix and compared 4 major concerns and saw the chemical industry takes all the boxes. To analyze all the risk and mitigate them, we used a risk matrix, and after extensive research, we discovered how PwnTech has proprietary patents that set them apart from any upcoming competition. The technological expertise allows them to reduce the cost of algae extraction, making them a very cost-efficient company to acquire. Thanks for listening to our solution. We're now opening the floor to you for any questions.
Okay. I feel like, yeah, just make sure no one makes the mistake of having.
That was
the
almost
red
exactly
line.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
So I only thing
Yeah,
is
I
Saksham,
just saw him. He's just like going at it. I was like, all right, this guy's doing great.
No, the first part because I had to
Like
catch
you're
up
so
for the
excited
time.
to
Yo,
fucking
Zia, stop
present.
recording.
How do I do that?
And the first part was that because I like had